Welcome in. We are live. We are actually live here on the Bleav in Georgia Dawgs podcast on the Bleav Podcast Network. If you're wondering what the heck happened to our regular setup, well, we had some scheduling deals, but nonetheless, we are here. We are ready to rock and roll. Joining me is a man that needs no introduction. He just polished his sword from his Twitter war, among other things. Is Israel Troop. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? I'm loving the new deal here. This is nice.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, this is a temporary deal. This is our change up, I guess, so to say.
I like it. Adapt and survive.
That's right. That's what we do. That's how we roll. So, got a great show lined up for you today. We are getting inching closer to the Orange Bowl, where Georgia will take on the Michigan Wolverines. And as you see, Jake Thomas, Moose Thames, we're in the chat. How's it going? The chat is blazing already. We are broadcasting over 16 different platforms tonight. So this is pretty good. So we're live and we're able to interact with all of you. So this is going to be fun. So Israel, buckle up, man.
If anybody wants to know, Corey is the brains of this entire operation. I'm not very tech savvy, so my man Corey handles all this. All the credit goes to him with all this stuff that he does.
Well, I certainly like to get all of the ideas out there on the table so that we can get the best show for you. So we're ready to rock and roll, man. But like I said, you can find, since we're not on our regular platform, our social information is not scrolling down beneath us. So you can find Israel at TroopStar28 on all social media platforms. Israel Troop, obviously, on Facebook. You can find me at Coach Burton36. You can find the show at Bleav in Dawgs on all social platforms. We are streaming live across all of my platforms, and you can check us out there as well. And so, yeah. Israel, anything you want to add before we get really rocking and rolling?
No, man, just I hate it. I'm gonna say this and I'll leave it alone. Except toward the end where I wish everybody to be safe. But this COVID thing is really messing people up. UCLA canceled their game. A couple more games will cancel too. You hate to see it, especially for these seniors. After dealing with last year's COVID issues and now all of a sudden not being able to play their last game. I hate it for them. So just keep your heads up, fellas, and hopefully something great to come out of all this.
Absolutely. Well, that's well said, Israel. And again, we'll always remind you to be safe, and that's the most important thing. Jake Thomas says tech savvy. He was AOL Corey till a few weeks ago. See, I know how to work it. He kept getting kicked off, man. The different somebody was out there messing with your connection down there. Maybe it was the dude that lives down the street that screeches his truck by every night. Maybe it was that guy. Yeah. Or your neighbor. Maybe it was your neighbor. I think it was your neighbor.
Probably.
She was sabotaging you.
She's been creeping by slowly lately in the Honda. We recognize that.
Yeah. There you go. Well, she was creeping up on your internet last night. But I'm tech savvy. But my man Israel is tool savvy. He is he's been getting his Bob the Builder on this past week and past weekend. Mm-hmm. I think he's built a swing set for everybody in his neighborhood, so that's good, right? How'd that go? How many cuss words did you say?
Let's just say I want to thank Bush for their contribution to my building. Bush and Bud Light, I appreciate it. But
there you go.
It was pretty easy. Shout out to Built. It's this new app that once you buy something, they have a little barcode you can scan. That actually gives you interactive instructions on how to do everything. So it's a really cool app.
Built. Okay. So built. Yes. I'm gonna have to check that out. Built might have to sponsor this show because I'm gonna need it. Need it. So there you go. Anyway, well, we're in the middle of bowl mania here. Cody's excited about them Red Raiders. That under was the bet.
I know. I know I picked Mississippi State last night, but
Hmm.
I'm telling you now, Texas Tech is playing a really good game. You know, their coach is headed out. He's going to Louisiana Tech.
Hmm.
But those kids are playing hard for him, and I mean, you can see the excitement on the sidelines with those guys. So I'm really surprised that he wasn't, you know, a shoe in for the job. But you know, I'm pretty sure he's going to do the great thing at Louisiana Tech.
Absolutely, yeah. Sonny Cumby is the guy you're referring to, but they have they made some good changes. They got some good recruiting prowess in the state of Texas with their coaching hire. But this isn't Bleav in Red Raiders football, so we're not really gonna jump into break down the Red Raiders. But that game is incredible. The under was the bet. You know, you never know with these bowl games, but those two teams
Yeah.
don't play much defense, so I was kind of surprised by that, Cody. So what can you do, right? Um, anyway, we are brought to you by betonline.ag. Speaking of betonline, I almost got on betonline to bet on this game. Glad I didn't, because I would have definitely taken Mississippi State in the over. I would have
Me too.
I would
Me
have
too.
lost.
I'd have been upset.
Yeah, I would have lost my ass. Holy cow. But betonline is back and better than ever. Got a new web interface for the rest of the NBA season, which is starting to heat up a little bit, and more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all basketball and football action this season. Hopefully you did well. Hopefully you did better than me in your bowl pick'ems. So head to the new and updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today. Receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code Bleav50 to receive your bonus. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your favorite sports. BetOnline, it's where the game starts. So, speaking of where the game starts, this game starts in Miami. The team arrived. George Pickens and JT Daniels arrived separately, but they are cleared to go. We are a go. We're ready to rock and roll against Michigan. We touched on it a little bit last night with Vinny Israel, but man, we're gonna really kind of get down deep into the weeds with this one. But first, we have to catch you up on all of the news that we missed on our Christmas break. Dan Lanning to Oregon. Let's talk. It's old news, so I don't really want to dive into it intensely. But what did you think of that hire?
I was surprised by the hire. And for all kinds of purposes, I didn't even know that he was a candidate for the job. You know, talking to my inside guys, nobody kind of knew what was going on. That's why I tweeted what I tweeted, because there's actually recruits on campus at the time of when the news first broke. And it was a no, he wasn't going. Then the next day, I guess they kind of finalized everything, kind of got it rolling. But, you know, even he said that I'm not going anywhere, but, you know, money talks. So, I mean, I guess they worked out a deal. And, I mean, it looks like it was too good to turn down.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, if I'm Dan Lanning, yeah, I'm not turning that down. You're
No.
going to a premier program with that kind of money. I mean, you'd be kind of silly not to, because, at his age, I don't think you're going to get a better opportunity at his age, because there's so many people in front of you. You're not going to get these prestigious jobs.
No.
So you've got to take when one offers it to you, you got to take it. Now he makes a name for himself. Then he can leverage himself to get back into the Southeast if he wants to, or he may turn Oregon into a powerhouse and decide to be there for the long haul. Who knows? With the way the coaching world is going, you never know. I mean, yeah, there's always a chance he could flop. He has no experience, but I mean, I thought it was a great hire. He's young, got lots of energy, great recruiter, great defensive mind. Has a lot of energy, can inject a lot of energy into the program, and I think he is going to be very detail oriented, which is what Oregon really, really needs. And they really need to build a level of toughness that I think he will bring to that team that they've been lacking so bad. And that was obvious against Utah.
Yes,
Both
you got to
times.
think. Oregon hadn't been very physical. I think 2014 when they played Florida State was the most physical team I've seen them have. And we all saw what happened in that game. So, moving forward, I think if they just become a little bit more physical, they always have athletes, offensively and defensively. They always have athletes. But in order to win and win at a high level, you have to be more physical than the other team. So I think he'll bring that level of physicality. Like you said, he's a young coach. I mean, he's 35, 36. something like that. He's
Yeah,
coming in fresh
35,
mind,
I think. Yeah,
you know. And to be 35 and leading, one of the most prestigious Pac-12 teams, um, is amazing. So kudos to him. He's already hired his offensive coordinator. Hopefully he keeps Coach McClendon on staff. So
yeah,
you never know what might happen.
yeah. I mean, who knows? Kudos to him. So that'll be good. It'll be interesting to see kind of who he brings with him after the college football playoff, which hopefully he'll be walking away with a national championship and ride into Eugene with that big fat national championship ring. So one can only hope. Signing day happened. Very happy with our class. I think what we'll do, Israel, is we'll do a deep dive into our class once the second signing period's over. I think we'll have just a big class review and say, okay, here's what we like, here's what we don't like. So signing day came and went, and I thought it was really successful. So I was pleased with that.
I will say that I'm really glad that we took some secondary guys. That's something that we haven't done in a while because we were so loaded in the secondary, but we're kind of depleted right now. But I'm glad to see that we got some secondary guys coming in.
Absolutely, man. So I'm excited about that. But now on to our more impressive or our more pressing things. They had media day today at the Orange Bowl, where for the first time you got to hear the assistants coaches speak and the players and all that stuff. So Todd Monken was at the mic. He was talking about the quarterback competition, and he said it's not really much of a competition. What do you make of that? Of those comments about what he said about why he's playing Stetson over JT?
I think as a coordinator, you and I both know this all too often.
Yeah.
We get asked this question more than anything of who's the quarterback going to be, what do they bring to the table, and all that stuff. We all know that JT can throw the deep ball. He's a smart kid. He's a great athlete.
Mm-hmm.
But let's think about this for a second. This is one thing that's been on my mind as of late. Would you rather face a Stetson Bennett who can get the ball out quick whenever he does make the right decisions? Now, he does make a mistake, which quarterbacks do. When he gets the ball out quick, play action, and can run the football, or face a quarterback that just stands in the pocket, throws deep balls? Which one would you rather face if you're a defense coordinator?
Well, I'd rather face the statue, to be honest with you. But if they're going to try to employ the game plan of the statue with the running guy,
They have to cater the game plan to the quarterback that they're using. Like I said last night, I think that's what we did against Alabama this time around. I think it was more of a JT game plan, simply because, let's be honest, Alabama hadn't really showed anything to where they can stop, the intermediate passes and stop the run and things like that. So I think this time around, I think they've gotten smarter. We got a great staff offensively, that dissected the film, saw what we did wrong, and we just can't play scared. I mean, you got 2 games left. So if you don't play scared, you win them, in my opinion.
That's right.
And that's on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, you can't play scared. I mean, that's the whole thing, and we're gonna have to find ways to be able to push the ball vertically, whether it's with Stetson, whether it's with Brock Vandegrift, whether it's with you. Who knows? Well, we've got to figure out a way, because Alabama, Michigan too. Michigan will do this to us as well. They're going to put their safeties at 10 yards, heels at 10, and just freaking come downhill. And then they're just gonna live on everything intermediate and tackle, and force us to really, really move the ball. Now, when you look at successful offenses, right? Successful offenses don't often go 10, 12, 13 plays. Successful offenses usually stay within the 5, 6, 7 range of plays. Right, those are the ones that put up points frequently, because the more plays you get, yes, it's more chances to succeed, but it's also more chances on the reverse side, on the other side of it, to fail. So if you're a good successful scoring drive, I think is about 7 plays.
Yeah, 7 to 8 plays. I can definitely agree with that, and that's what we've done all year until this last game. Let's take Auburn for instance, who was lights out for the whole game except for a minute against Alabama. We ran up and down the field on Auburn the whole entire game. Play action, quick passes, running the football, and then look at what Auburn did to Alabama, right? So now why don't you take the same idea, go against Alabama?
Yeah,
Same, same,
I don't
same
understand it.
difference. You can't
Yeah,
outcoach yourself in situations like this, and I think that's
no,
what we did. And
yeah,
I tweeted earlier too. I was like, it was the what if factor. What if? What if? What if?
yeah,
In a
yeah,
game like that,
exactly.
forget the what if. I'm going out to win. If they do it and they stop us, by all means they got us. But I'm
Yeah,
throwing every single bullet I got.
yeah, you have to at this point. I mean, you got nothing else to lose, right? So,
Exactly.
and you got to, you can't play this coy game against Michigan and say, okay, we're, and unless it dictates that you can win that way, you're
Hmm.
going to have to throw everything you got at them just to make sure you get to that national championship game. And you got to turn around and do it again against Alabama. I don't know that Alabama's going to put together another Herculean effort that they did in the
Hmm.
SEC championship. I think they're going to come off a convincing win against Cincinnati. Let's just be honest with that. They're going to be feeling
Yeah.
themselves a little bit this time around. And the fact that they dominated us, that might work in our favor. So, I don't know. Like, we just got to be aggressive. That's the number one thing. And
Exactly.
looking at our comments, Cody saying Georgia gets beat by the refs, and the fact that JT is a better quarterback and could win, and Bennett is beatable. We're not making excuses, Cody. We're
No.
not like that. That's not like Stetson can beat Alabama. You just gotta cater to his strengths, right? You
Hmm.
can't have a plan that works for JT because they're two totally different quarterbacks. Stetson's good
Hmm.
in his own right. JT's great in his own right. They're both really good at what they do. It's just a matter of like taking what JT does really well and catering it to JT.
Hmm.
Taking what Stetson does really well, catering to Stetson. Because I know you have those things in your playbook. Now you just
Yes.
got to, this is not the NFL where it's like, okay, you the quarterback are going to cater to my system. It's my system's going to cater to the quarterback.
Cater
That's
to
the way it's
you.
got to be. And so,
Exactly. And
and yet,
one thing that Georgia's done since Stetson's been the quarterback is control the clock, control the ball,
mhm,
flip field position, things like that, which we didn't do against Alabama. I think
yeah,
we rushed it. We hit the panic button a little bit too soon. I mean, we're up what 10-7, up 10-7, and then all of a sudden we go into panic mode.
yeah,
You know, so
because they scored on a slant and they got some momentum and we just couldn't recover after that.
yeah. So
You have to defensively, you have to play them at the point. Yeah, Bama scores every time and they get the ball, they control the clock. That's how Georgia went 12-0 up until the SEC championship. They scored every time they got it and they controlled the clock. Um,
exactly,
Georgia can do what Bama does, you know. And does
with
Bama win the
whoever's at
Natty?
quarterback,
Yeah, yeah,
you never
exactly.
know.
You never know. Does Bama win the Natty? Maybe. Does Georgia win? Maybe. I think these two teams are a lot closer than that original score indicated. I think momentum got away from us there towards the end. I think Stetson started pressing a little bit. So,
Mm.
um,
Let's look at what Texas A&M did against them. Texas A&M, they fought and fought and fought and fought and ended up pulling it off. Why? Because they didn't cater to what Alabama wanted them to do. They didn't
right.
panic. They stayed on time. And as an
Mm-hmm.
offensive coordinator, you have to stay on time. Our clock goes off just like everybody else's, and we can't panic.
Yeah.
And you can't be
Mm-hmm.
scared. And that's what Texas
No.
A&M did. That's what Auburn did. That's what Florida did. That's what Arkansas did. They gave them their best shot every single time. And hey, I think we're the better team than those teams were. So we'll pull it off. We just got to
Yeah,
get there, and that starts Friday.
it does. It does start Friday. And we have to, again, you look at Texas A&M, you look at Auburn, you look at LSU even who held them close. You look at what Florida was able to do against them. You look at the common denominator with all four of those games. You got to look at D-line play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Georgia has a better D-line than all four of those teams.
Yes,
Easily,
it was proven,
right?
proven because we played
It's
them.
been proven, yeah. And so what those defensive lines did is they just said, you know what? We're not going to beat Alabama sitting back and playing conservatively. We're going to come after you. We're going to hit. We're going to hit. We're going to hit. We're going to hit. We're going to get shots on Bryce. We're going to get in his face. We're going to make him make contested throws. We're going to flush him. We're going to make him panic a little bit. And we're going to be calm and we're going to tackle. Even if he gains 5 yards, who cares? We're going to tackle. We're going to get him to the ground. Anytime you can, get him to the ground. And I think defensive line wise, you're going to see that start to kind of wear on him a little bit. Yeah, he might, early on, he might take it, make plays. He'll take it, he'll make plays, he'll take it, and he'll do some good things. But then as the course of the game goes on, you'll start to see him his eyes aren't looking downfield when he's rushing around. He's looking to see where that pressure's coming from. And once he drops his eyes, it's over.
Exactly.
You
That's
got
what we're
it.
going to have to do on Friday against McNamara. He's a really good quarterback, in my opinion. He can hurt you. He's got a little bit of wiggle about him as well. But if you notice, go back and watch Michigan State game. Michigan State hit him, and what he do? He ended up coughing it up a couple of times. Michigan State wins the football game.
Exactly. And Michigan State was able to run the ball effectively. I mean,
control the clock.
Yeah, Walker had he had 5 touchdowns, something like that.
Yeah.
Holy cow, dude. I mean, that was ridiculous. So yeah.
This game is going to be won in the trenches. It's the Big Ten. They always have big linemen, and we got big defensive linemen. So I mean, from a defensive standpoint, don't play scared. You got to get to the championship game. So what if everybody watches film? So what? They still got to stop it. They still have to move against you. So I mean, hey, let's go play man. Let's go to work.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think when you do that, yeah, it's got to be that. John, I know you're really excited about LSU hiring a defensive coordinator. We'll talk about that probably tomorrow night on SEC After Dark. But they did hire Matt House, so congratulations on that. I think he's going to be pretty good. Brian Kelly's building a pretty good staff there. I don't know what you want me to say on that. Bama embarrasses Cincy like they did Notre Dame a few years back. Michigan outcoaches Kirby in a close coin flipper, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to blow out Michigan. Let's just be honest about that. Michigan's a lot better football team than people are giving them credit for. They can run the ball. They're explosive. They're physical. Aiden Hutchinson obviously was a Heisman finalist for a reason. I don't think he should have been over Will Anderson, but that's a different story for a different day. Defensive back-wise, I think matching up with Michigan, I think you're going to have to start seeing a more physical approach to what we do, even if we're playing man or even if we're trying to disguise man into zone or whatever the case may be. Our guys have to be physical. Keely Ringo has to be physical. Darian Kendrick has to be physical. Those guys have to press. They have to get hands on. They have to harass those receivers coming off the ball. You have to do it against Michigan. Cade McNamara will not survive if his receivers can't get off the ball, right? Lewis Cine cannot take the cheese if he's got deep half. He's got to stay in deep half, or he's got deep quarter. He's got to stay in the deep quarter. He cannot take the low route. Let him throw the low route and then go kill the guy once he catches it. But don't bite on it, because there's something that's going to come right back where you just were and responsible for. And that's how big plays happen. That's how busts happen. That's how panic happens. That's how, hey, we don't, all of a sudden guys start not trusting each other. And then next thing you know, you got blown coverages all over the freaking place. Michigan will expose that.
Yeah, we're going to have to mix zone and man. We're going to have to mix up our blitzes. I mean, it's literally going to be like playing a video game. You're going to have to mix everything up, show them different looks, different stunts and everything like that in order to win this football game. Coach Gaddis is a very smart coach. Coach Harbaugh is a very, very smart coach. So
he's very aggressive.
It's not like you're going against any scrubs or anything like that. You're going against two offensive-minded guys who are really good at what they do. It's the reason why they're the number 2 team in the nation. There's a reason. They play really good defense. They can score on offense at any point. They can run the ball and they can throw it. The point is to play aggressive, harass the quarterback, and don't play scared. It's real simple. Don't play scared. We're the better team, in my opinion. We're the better team. We got a better coaching staff all around. So, I mean, put those heads together and let's go win this thing.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't think you could have said that more. I don't think you said that better. I couldn't have said that better myself. So, we look at Georgia's side of things. We look at what we got to shore up. Offensively, obviously, whoever's quarterback, you got to have a game plan that caters to them. But you've also got to figure out a way to now get George Pickens involved, who is back, cleared, healthy, ready to go. You've got to get Jermaine Burton involved. You've got to continue to feed Brock Bowers. You've got to continue to find ways to get him the ball in space. You got to distribute this thing, and you got to have an effective run game as well. All those things I think can happen against Michigan because I think our offensive line is built for that. I think we can get some push up front. I think we have a really good nucleus finally of an offensive line. They finally kind of gelled a little bit, and we're able to do some things in the run game. Now we've got to help ourselves by loosening them up and forcing them to play the entire width of the field. We can't come out.
That's
We can't
exactly
come
what I
out
was
there
going
with
to
this.
say.
We cannot come out here with this conservative game plan. We can't be reckless, and we can't be overly conservative either. That would be just as reckless as just throwing the ball deep all the time.
Yes, you have. We Brock Bowers is going to be double covered, triple covered. I mean, we all know that he's the real deal. So now we have to, if we're going to use two tight ends, let's get Washington involved more. Let's get Fitzpatrick involved more. All right, now let's throw it outside the Pickens, even if it's just a little hitch route. Trying to get. You have to use the whole field, and that's something that we didn't do in our one loss. So hey, let's learn from our mistakes. Let's use the whole field. Let's run the ball. I think we got away from the run a little bit too early, in my opinion. Let's stick to that. Let's just stay on track. And I say this all the time, as well as I do, it's so easy for an offensive coordinator to get off track. So let's just stay on track, do what we do, and let's go out here and just play Georgia football. Let's play the game. Let's play the game the way that it got us here.
Exactly. So I'm going to ask you this, Mr. Offensive Coordinator. First of all, I think your bot followed you into the show because
probably.
There you go. Whoever that is. I think they followed you. Hopefully they don't cut your signal like they did last night. But Aiden Hutchinson, right? We know what he brings to the table. He's very physical, very quick, very fast, just completely disruptive. How do you plan for a guy like that?
I think you just kind of got to know where he's at. With Monkey being up top, I think he's got a bird's eye view of everything. He can see down, kind of see where he's at. And I think at first, I think you run at him. This is just to show that we're not scared of you. We know who you are and things like that. And then a great job of chipping him, whether it's a tight end, whether it's a running back. Make sure we get somebody on him at all times. We can't just leave a tackle on him just to block him for the whole entire game, because he's just like Will Anderson. He's going to beat you, and he's going to eventually wreak havoc on you. So you have to do something to get him off course, to get him frustrated, get him out of this game. So now it becomes a little bit easier. You start having misassignments, he starts aligning wrong and things like that. So he's a very smart football player, very physical football player. So you have to do something to get him out of this game.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's perfect, man. You got to run right at him. I mean, that's exactly what I would do. Let's kick him out. Let's frustrate him. Let's cut him. Let's do whatever we can do. Let's crack him. Let's read him. Let's frustrate him. Do not let him get some momentum. There was a clip that I saw from the Ohio State game where he had a full head of steam. He was talking all kind of crap to the left tackle, who is also, I think, going to be an NFL guy too. Just jawing, just saying, hey, come here, I'm coming for you right now. And he backed it up. He came right off the edge and just ran right through him like he was like you would if you ran over your son. Like the offensive tackle went flying like that. And I was like, oh, okay. So I don't know that Ohio State guy was ready for that. Our guys are going to be ready for that.
No, he was not mentally prepared for that whooping that he took. And I watched that game as well. And at some point it's called pride. At some point, you have to say the man across from me ain't gonna beat me. You put your pants on the same way I do, one leg at a time. So
I mean, exactly.
There's something about yes, he's a great player, but he's going to have to show me today that how great of a player he is. He might beat me. He's probably going to beat me once or twice, but he ain't going to do it consistently the whole entire game. Which I think the guy from Ohio State just bent over and took it. He just kind of he said, "You win."
Yeah, he did.
There's no way you're just going to push me into the quarterback's lap every single time, and that's what he did. He physically beat that young man into submission.
Yeah, and the only way to not get the only way to get the upper hand is to run right at him, for a guard to just maul him. For Jamari Sawyer at left tackle to just freaking maul him on outside zone or inside zone or just whatever. If we can pancake the guy a few times, we can get an upper hand.
How big a boy are you? You're gonna have to show me. This is for all the marbles.
And if he does, great, more power to him. And he'll probably win a few reps. He'll get a couple sacks. It'll happen. But you can't panic. Don't panic.
It ain't gonna happen all night.
No.
It ain't gonna happen all night.
No. It's not going to happen all night. We're going to screen him a little bit. We're going to do some things that's going to disrupt him and disrupt his flow, disrupt his timing, and that neutralize him. I mean, we found a way to essentially neutralize Will Anderson, not for the most part. I mean, he still made some plays, but like he didn't take over
He
the game
wasn't.
like he had
He
before.
wasn't a big. Yeah, exactly. He wasn't as big a factor as he has been in recent games. And I think, and that just shows you what we can do. We can
Mhm.
neutralize your good player, but we have to execute and we have to stay on time.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what everybody asked me, what is Michigan do? They're 7.5 point underdogs. What is their chances? And some people obviously are going to say Michigan's going to win, and and maybe sometimes that's just to poke at me a little bit. But when you look at Michigan, just the bird's eye view of Michigan, you look at what they do really well. They control most of their games through the interior. They have Hassan Haskins and Blake Corum. Those two guys can get things rolling, right? However, this is why I like us to win this game, to cover, maybe even win by a couple touchdowns, because they haven't faced a defense like ours. And yes, I know our defense gave up 41 to Bama. I get it. No, I get it. I get it. Trust me. Right? But we have a defense that ranks inside the top 10 in every major defensive stat category. Number 1 at one point in just about every major defensive category. I think that Bama game dropped us down a few notches, but it's a front seven led by Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean, Channing Tindall, Quay Walker, Trayvon Walker, Nolan Smith. Those guys, just to name a few. They haven't allowed much. It was 6.6 points per game coming into the SEC championship. So 12 games at that clip. And then all of a sudden, Bama broke the dam. But for me, Michigan plays a lot like Kentucky, style-wise. They're going to cram it down your throat. They're going to try to control the line of scrimmage. They're going to try to get it through the run game. They're going to get some good quarterback play. McNamara, Will Levis, they're both Big Ten guys. They're kind of the same. McNamara has a lot more upside because I think he's younger. He's a freshman. And he can certainly beat you, right? He can certainly beat you. But again, I think the game plan for Michigan, force Cade McNamara to beat you. He's not a vertical threat like Bryce Young was. You can get in his face. You can knock him down. You can force the turnover bug against him. He is, he was picked off by Michigan State, Ohio State, and Iowa. Basically 3 games in a row. But if Michigan can find,
game plan is simple.
Yeah,
game plan is simple. Here it is. Play man.
Play man.
Play man. Hit him early and often, and we have to get all red hats to the football.
Yeah,
we can't miss tackles because they have shown if they can break tackles, they're going to take it to the house. Yeah. We have to make them feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And we win the football game. One thing that I miss seeing, Harbaugh's on the sideline with his cleats on, with his Jordan cleats on, with the really long cord for his headset. I want to see the call sheet go flying. That's one thing that's one thing against Michigan State. It happened. The call sheet went flying. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, he came unplugged and he's running down the sideline. That's what I want to see. And what causes that? Wreaking havoc that we've done all season. Don't play scared, and let's let all these guys, our front seven, have to play big. Don't sit back. Go get the quarterback. Play your assignment by all means.
Yeah, do your job.
Do it with relentless abandonment.
Absolutely. Be disruptive. Trayvon Walker needs to have a sack. Nolan Smith needs to have a sack. Nakobe Dean needs to have a sack. We need to have, our safeties need to pick the ball off. We need to do whatever. But comment from John, Arkansas was his comp for Michigan. I don't think that's a good comp because Arkansas, philosophy-wise, is a totally different team. They are a spread, tempo, hurry up offense. KJ Jefferson is dynamic of a weapon as it gets. K. McNamara is not that. So
you don't have to worry about him running the football.
No, you don't. With Arkansas, you have to worry about KJ Jefferson legitimately running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So they have threats all over the place, and they play fast, and they run it up. Arkansas and Ole Miss are basically philosophy-wise the same team. Obviously, Ole Miss is better, but they're the same team. So Kentucky's more of a pro-style control the line of scrimmage with Chris Rodriguez and Cavassier Smoke. Get some play-action shots with Will Levis, run some screens, and more of a pro NFL-style offense because, hey, John Harbaugh, not John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh's with the Ravens. He's NFL style. Actually, he's in the NFL. Jim Harbaugh and Liam Cohen, they're both NFL guys. They both bring that system. So obviously they're going to look very, very much alike. So there you go. There's your comp. So the game plan against Kentucky was get after Will Levis. And Kentucky really only had one really beautiful drive. And I don't think that Gaddis, I don't think that Harbaugh is as good of a play caller as Liam Cohen. So I think they're going to struggle because they haven't been here before, and their strength matches up with Georgia's strength. So there you have it.
They run the football. We stop the run.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah. That's exactly what they do. And no, they're not going to be able to throw deep because Alabama had the Heisman Trophy winner. And they have Jameson Williams.
Yes, and 4 other people who can all run a 4 flat.
Oh, Bama's scary, man. But we're not scared of them. I'm not scared of Bama. If I could say it, F Bama. I'll say it, F Bama. I'm not scared of them. No, definitely not. I'm sorry. I love my Bama people though. I love Jake and Stacy. They do a great job over there. We'll have to get round 2 of the. We'll have to get round 2 of that going on. So. But yeah, I think when you look at Michigan, that's kind of where we're at with that. So, what's your score prediction?
I'm excited. I think it's going to be 27-24. If we do roll, 35-21, something like that. If we're able to get it going, which I think they're going to have a little chip on their shoulder. I think everybody's counting them out, especially with this. Press conference today, and everybody's all in an uproar about Stetson and JT and things like that. So I don't think Stetson goes out there with anything to prove. I just think he plays better. I think everybody around him plays better. And if we just play better, we win the football game offensively. Now we still got to stop people defensively now. In my opinion, if the offense scores 24 points, you should win. That's just me, especially if you have number 1 defense in the nation. But coming off of that game and let's just be honest, it was embarrassing the way we lost. I think with a mature group that they have in the locker room, I think they kind of know what's that plan. I saw a picture of Nakobe Dean and the linebackers and all those guys under the chute earlier today, and you could just see it in their eyes, like it was like no nonsense, like it was real get after that ass defensive look in their eyes. Eric Russell, I'm talking about blood flying everywhere. You could just see it in their eyes, like it was like it's go time. Yeah, and that's what you want to see. You love having fun. These bowl games are fun. At the end of the day, you're on a business trip and you're here to win the game to get to the national championship.
Exactly, and you took the words right out of it. This is a very, very mature group, probably a more mature Georgia team than I've seen in quite some time. Just in the way they handle their business, just in the way they kind of do things. They play to that standard. Very rarely do you see them play poorly when the backups are in or when they get up with a comfortable lead. Sometimes you see immature teams that they kind of let the other team kind of crawl back into it a little bit. This Georgia team did not do that throughout the course of the season. They were able to manage that a little bit better. They were able to play to the standard a little bit better. And I think that when you have great success, obviously you're going to have that one game. This is football. When you play 13 games, you're going to have that one game. And unfortunately for Georgia, it was the SEC championship game where that was the humbling point because, hey, we haven't seen a receiver like Jameson Williams. Georgia has not seen a quarterback like Bryce Young. The closest thing they saw was Hendon Hooker, and they contained him really, really well. I don't know where they should have just pulled that game plan out and just said, hey, we're just going to harass him. Because he's still, at the end of the day, he's a freshman. Like, he ain't got enough game experience yet. I don't know why they weren't knocking him down, right? Even the greatest quarterback of all time is not immune to a little rattling. Tom Brady. in the '06 Super Bowl against the Giants, the perfect season.
Michael
Strahan, they just hit him play after play after play, and it wore on him. He made mistakes. He panicked. No quarterback is immune. Tom, if it's good enough for Tom, if that plan is good enough to play against Tom Brady and beat him, it's good enough for me, right?
Yep.
Obviously that's the kryptonite for quarterbacks. No quarterback is comfortable when that pocket is collapsing, when that center is getting in your personal bubble because the nose guard is driving him back that way. That's not a comfortable feeling because he doesn't have room to follow through. And when he slides and there's a guy there and he has to bail and he has to improvise and then get his eyes downfield, it's not good. And there's a couple times where this team had him wrapped up and they couldn't finish the drill. They couldn't finish the tackle. There's a few times where that happened where I think if you get a sack in that scenario, maybe things are different. I don't know. Because our offense at that point was playing pretty well. They hit a dry spell, but they were playing pretty well. And they played pretty well down the stretch of the game. They just couldn't quite finish those opportunities, which I think they'll have a better chance of finishing those later. But this is my very long-winded way of saying that I do think this team, you can see it in their eyes. You can see it with the way they practice, with the intensity in which they practice, with what they're saying, which is not much, which is good. A lot of factors are playing into this team being extremely focused. That game getting knocked on their ass hopefully was the best thing to happen to this group. So they're hungry.
Sometimes you got to get hit in the face in order to get right.
Exactly.
How many times did your mom tell you not to do something and you kept doing it till you got a whipping? And after you got that whipping, what happened? You quit doing it.
Yeah.
So. It's a learning experience. I
Yep.
think we were kind of riding a little bit high. We were projected to win that game anyway, and we let our guard down. Well, understand this: if we go against Michigan with the same thing, they're just going to physically beat you, and that's not what you want. You don't want another grown man just physically beating you for 60 minutes, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's what Michigan wants to do. They want to physically beat us.
And that's what Aiden Hutchinson, he's going to physically beat you and he's going to tell you about it. And you don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
So my score prediction is going to be Georgia by 10. I think it's going to be like a 31. I think it will actually probably be like a 27-17 type ball game. I think Michigan gets a couple early, but I think this defense clamps down and holds them. And I think we get to 27. I think Brock Bowers is going to have a big game. I think Pickens is going to have a huge game. So I'm calling about 27-17-ish, somewhere in that range. Pull away late, but I do think Georgia gets the win in the cover. So
for some reason, I feel like this game is going to be real similar to the Clemson-Ohio State game a couple of years ago. Right toward the end when Justin Fields threw the pick toward the end. But that game was so physical. You had two great football teams going at it. It was just who's going to make a play at the end or who's going to get a stop at the end. I think it's going to be kind of close to that game as the outcome. Who's not going to make a mistake, who's not going to turn the ball over. Got two great defenses going at each other. So just got to execute offensively, play relentless on defense, and we'll be fine. Oh, and also win the special teams, flip field position. Get a couple of yards returning punts, things like that.
Maybe even catch a turnover, maybe even steal a possession.
There you go.
And then if we do have the fortunes of playing Alabama, I'm hoping this plays out like the Clemson-Ohio State game played out a season ago, where Ohio State got their revenge, and they got their revenge.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that's how that plays out. If I said anything differently, we wouldn't be the Bleav in Georgia Dawgs podcast. That's right. So
exactly.
Corey Burton, Israel Troop on the Bleav in Georgia Dawgs podcast, at TroopStar28, at Coach Burton 36, at Bleav in Dawgs on all social media platforms. You can find me Burton.Corey on Instagram. Not really much on Instagram. And I'm trying to figure out how to get this TikTok thing going. I think we can build a fan base. I'm not going to do any dances, but I might run a few of our segments on there. At least they might just see you and me talking, or I might just do it like a talking head on on TikTok, maybe just to broaden our horizons, I guess, right? So
I just send funny TikToks out, and hopefully we won't be Coach 30 again after this Michigan game.
Yeah.
He got us after the Alabama
oh,
game.
he did. He oh,
got
did
us.
he?
He got us. So hopefully
Oh,
our
did
kids
he?
saw themselves on that and
Yeah.
don't want to get Coach 30 because I'm pretty sure that Mississippi State's about to get Coach 30 here.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
by tomorrow.
Yeah, probably so. Mississippi State, we're gonna see
Dave,
them.
Davis didn't make a tackle and he pissed on his leg. It happens.
He got scared. Moment's too big for him.
Moment got too big.
Pissed down your leg. Oh, I'm just gonna pat him on the butt, tell him he's doing a great job.
I'm going to get on my knees and pray to Jesus and thank him for all the blessing. Love it, boy. Love it. We got to try to get him on, man. He is hilarious.
We do. If anybody knows him, let's get him on. I might reach out to him. So looking at so John says he's not betting on UGA to cover. I'm going to go through my old way of betting on Georgia, which is never, because Georgia against the spread used to be really terrible. That used to be an awful bet. This year was a pretty good bet, but years past, it's always terrible to go with Georgia against the spread because they always let teams cover. Every Georgia team
I learned the hard way.
Yeah, so you can't do that. So I don't blame you there. But let's see. We got a few extra minutes here. Let's talk about some of these other games, these other bowl games that are coming up. So the Holiday Bowl, man, it was wait a minute. No. I was excited about that game. UCLA, NC State. I was really pumped for that thing.
So what happened? I saw you tweet me earlier. What happened with the Auburn game earlier? Did Smoke Monday got kicked out of the game again?
Yeah, targeting on an interception return, which I think Alden and Jay were going off about it, and you see him like he runs up, and I could see where they'd call that targeting, but I mean he led with his hands, but I mean he absolutely destroyed the guy.
Well, he shouldn't have been running calls. He shouldn't have been running that route. That's not my fault.
Yeah, I mean the ball was already picked off.
It's the quarterback's fault.
No, it was the quarterback's fault because he threw the interception. But he was his teammate Smoke. I don't forget who made the interception, but Smoke Monday was blocking.
Oh! I got you.
He was blocking. So he runs down. He goes, boom, like kind of hits with head and hands and just shoves the guy. The guy goes flying, and the ref sees
targeting.
The ref sees contact in the body fly, and that's targeting.
Oh, geez. As long as you're not leading with the crown and the helmet, I mean, you have to make that definitively clear. You're not leading. What are you supposed to do if you're blocking and your face mask lead? I mean, it is what it is. It's football.
Yeah.
As long as your head's not down and you're not trying to decapitate a person. I mean, it doesn't sound like he was trying to decapitate him. I think he was just trying to make a football play.
I didn't think he was. I just thought he was trying to make a physical block.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah. There was 2 targetings. The other one was the quarterback was sliding and the defender had already committed to going down, and then they just collided. Wasn't a vicious hit. He just hit him. I mean, he left his feet, which, I think that's the reckless part of it. Maybe, I don't know. What can you do? Honestly, I mean, I don't fault him.
What happened at Pittsburgh? They fake sides. I mean, you can't fault him.
Yeah.
Even though they got rid of the rule, but I mean, it's kind of bang bang. If you see a guy going down, you've already committed to making the tackle. I mean, it's hard to stop your momentum from going.
You can't. I mean, there's no way.
Let the kids play.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta let that go. But this is going to open the door to being like flagrant 1, flagrant 2. Hopefully, you get a hit like that, and they just give you a 15-yard penalty and not kick you out of the game for that. Because I mean, you hit him while he's sliding. I mean, in the NFL, if you hit him while he's sliding, it's a 15-yard penalty, and that's it.
Yeah,
they don't end your life. They don't send you to the gallows for
the whole game.
For the whole game, they give you 15 yards and they move on. So
what's the Brian Harsin era look like in Auburn right now?
Ooh, I know Jake's very excited about it. But what does it look like? I don't know, man. It's like tumultuous a little bit because it's a rough go, man. You know, you trot TJ Finley out there to play quarterback. Man, I don't know, man. I I think he can get it together. I don't know why you didn't have Davis out there. I don't know why you didn't run him out there. You know what can you lose? I don't know.
I think he needs some help around him. I think once he gets some skilled guys around him, as far
TJ
as
Finley ain't
receivers, and
it.
it
TJ
takes a
Finley ain't
little.
it.
Oh yeah, no. I'm talking about just the team itself.
Oh yeah.
And get somebody to kind of help Tank Bigsby out, depending on what he decides to do after this game.
Yeah.
They just need some help out wide to kind of take some pressure off the O-line and things like that. Just stack the box against them, you beat them.
Mm-hmm.
They can't catch. I mean, they don't
Can't
have any skill
catch.
guys, and that's just honest.
Finley looks like Joe Milton. They just can't. They can't function, man. It's sad. Finley's a backyard quarterback. Yeah, that's probably a great way to describe it. I don't know that I see any direction with what they're trying to do. That's the thing I got. And they played. To me, they're just the Western Division Florida. They play extremely undisciplined. They don't. I don't think they have much of a plan. I don't think they have much of an identity. I don't think they know really what they want to do.
Yeah, they want to be power out. They want to be spread. You kind of have to. Of course, there's always different ways to manipulate your offense, but you kind of have to have an identity of what you want to do. Your base offense should be anything you want to get into.
Mm-hmm. And it leads me to believe now that, like, when they initially fired Bobo, I was like, well, maybe just Bobo's just lost it. He doesn't have it anymore. He's burnt out, all that good stuff. Then you watch this game and you're like, maybe it wasn't all on Bobo. Maybe there was something on with Brian Harsin, and like he doesn't know what he wants to do, and he kind of like gets too much involved with it to where there's a helpful way to do it, and then there's a destructive way to do it. And I think Brian Harsin was meddling a little too much, where it almost felt like it may have felt like everything that Mike Bobo wanted to do was being trampled on and manipulated. And what it comes out as is an unmitigated disaster, which is what Auburn is right now offensively.
That's not what you want at all. They're going to be good on defense. We know that.
They are. And they were. But I said last night, you and me and Vinny, I said last night, if Auburn lets this become a 7-on-7 game, they're going to lose. What did it become? A 7-on-7 game.
In the last couple of minutes of the game.
Yes. And you can't score 10 points. You have to, like, come on, man. Like, it's not going to happen no matter how good your defense is playing. If you're stuck on 10 points
out there.
Yeah, if you're stuck on 10 points and you can't do anything, you think your defense is going to hold up all game? No, Houston's good on offense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, brutal. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of Brian Harsin. He's got some work to do. That's for sure. Maybe Austin Davis can come in and be a breath of fresh air. I don't know, but maybe not. It's I don't know. I don't know.
Get some skill guys. That's all I know.
They better recruit some skill guys, and they better figure out what they want to do. And they better figure out a way to not play DJ Finley at quarterback. Yeah, he ain't the answer.
They got a good one coming.
They do.
They got a good one coming.
They do. They better figure out a way to get him on the field and get him ready. Yeah, TJ Finley ain't the answer. And maybe Bo Nix wasn't as bad as we thought he was. We'll see at Auburn.
No.
We'll see at Oregon. Maybe he was.
That's right.
Happy feet. We'll see. We'll see what he does. I mean, if he absolutely lights it up at Oregon, then we can say, okay,
somebody's got something explaining to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe Dillingham at Oregon. Now that he has the reins, free reign. Like there's no Gus Malzahn holding him back. Right? There's no Mike Norvell holding him back. It's full bore. Like it's his show.
It's on you, big dog.
Yeah, it's all you. So what you got? That's how I see it. So we'll see. I don't know. What do we make of Mississippi State?
I
just think they were
I think they
uninterested.
just yeah, I think no, apparently they were down a couple players, and I think they just ran into a much more enthusiastic Texas Tech team. I think that's what happened. I think
Yeah.
they were ready to play. They seemed ready to play. They didn't tackle very good especially at the beginning of the game. But I think they just ran into a more enthusiastic Texas Tech team playing
Uh-huh.
for the head coach. And I think they just wore them down. That's what it looked like from just watching on TV. I think Texas Tech wanted it more. Um, Probably not just the football game itself, but just to go out on a um, winning note with their head coach. And they just wanted it more, and you can tell by the way they played.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I think you're exactly. I think
And
you
it's
hit the
hard to
nail.
stop it, and it's hard to stop a team that just wants it more, dude.
Yeah.
Not saying that Mississippi State didn't, but I think that Texas Tech wanted it more than they did.
That's the problem with these bowl games. I think if there was something more on the line than just some stupid trophy, that these teams would play more up to their capabilities. Like Mississippi State obviously cared probably nothing about being there. Texas Tech had everything to prove because they hadn't been to a bowl in a while.
Hmm.
Like to me, I think these bowl games and the results that we're getting and the fact that we're so willy-nilly canceling bowl games. I hadn't canceled one single FCS playoff game, right?
Nope.
Nope. Um, I think the fact that you're getting all this lends us to believe, hey, let's just go crazy and let's just go like a 16 team playoff. And if you don't make the playoff, then you're
You
done.
go home.
You go
You
home.
go home.
Like what? Like I and
I
if you
understand
if you
COVID and all
yeah
that good stuff, and there's protocols and stuff like that, but is it really COVID? And are we going to get mad at kids? So now the argument comes as to why are kids opting out because of situations like this? What's the point of putting my body on the line for a week of practice one more time and risking it all, and I don't even get to play? So
yeah
now you throw that argument in there now about
yeah.
opting out. Now it
I
looks
mean,
like opting out is a great idea.
opting out is going to be the norm. If you don't make the playoff, opting out is going to be the norm. So why play these games? You know, and why are universities opting out? Why this is a chance to get your young guys some experience if you want to look at it through that lens.
Yeah.
Um, I John, it cool. That doesn't matter. I mean, the NCAA tournament has a lot of first round blowouts. I mean, but you get more teams interested. You get more teams playing. You get more. I think you're going to get more teams playing hard, and I think those blowouts are probably not going to be as frequent as you think because college football has a lot more parity. So you're going to get probably like a Wisconsin-Alabama matchup in the first round. Wisconsin's going to play their ass off because Jimmy Leonard is a great defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to lose? Are they going to get blown out eventually? Yes. Alabama will probably get some momentum, and they'll make that, they'll push that score out there. But I think you'll get better football with a 16-team playoff.
Look at D2 football, FCS football.
They
Those
play
games are always
24.
blowouts.
They play
So
24. Well, the first 8 get by. The top 8 get buys in the first
yeah,
round. So really it's 24 teams, but it's really only 16 teams play, and then another 16 play, and then they start paring it down from there. So I mean, it's really not like as crazy as it sounds, but still, like 24 teams, like ETSU made it to a bowl game. The team that blew out Vandy, they made it to the playoff. They made it deep into the playoff. Like there's teams that like I didn't like if there was a 8-team playoff, would have never had a chance. But like Montana State is in the national championship. Why? Because they got hot.
Yeah.
Because there was a 2014 playoff. They were able to get hot. They were able to get some momentum going. I think you're going to get better football.
I think you get a lot more people playing for that spot. Like you said, they're playing for that spot, knowing that if you don't get that spot, you go home. I mean, that gives a lot of people something to play for. No matter what conference you in or anything like that, if you get that spot, you get it, and you go on about your day. You keep winning, you move up. If not, then you go home.
Yeah.
It is what it is after that.
Yeah.
But you got there. The whole point is to get there.
Yeah, get there, and then eventually you'll you'll get there.
Yep.
Will we see the same 16 teams? Probably, mostly.
Possibly.
Mostly.
But,
But you're-
Michigan hadn't been anywhere for a while, and then look, now they're here.
Now they're in it.
Cincinnati, Oklahoma, those guys who kind of on the back burner and things like that. I think you kind of get those guys involved, and you never know what might happen. Playoff football is unpredictable.
It's crazy. Like, you get a team like Coastal in there, who knows what will happen? You get a Coastal Oklahoma State first round matchup, Coastal could win that game. Like, you're going to get 5 G5 teams in there just by nature of conference champions, I think, at this point. So, I mean, I think it's, expand it as far as you can expand it, I say. Hell, make it 64 teams. I don't care. But you could, you could say, you could play them all on a Saturday. You could stack, 2 games in different time slots and across different networks. You could do that. I mean, not one person ever watches every single NCAA tourney game on the first day. Like, that's impossible. You don't have enough, because there's 4 different networks with 4 games on it at a time, and they stack them all. I mean, they do it anyway. I mean, shit, you could have 2 or 3 noon games, 2 or 3 3:30 games, and 2 or 3 primetime games. And I guarantee there's going to be a lot of people that go from noon to midnight
watching football.
Just watching it all freaking day, flipping back and forth.
You got 2 guys right here, right now that will do it.
Yeah, I would do it. I would totally watch. I would totally watch Kansas State versus BYU. Totally at the noon slot.
I would like to see Wake Forest. I just saw that. I would love to see Wake Forest against any team that they go up against. Wake Forest got hot. Pittsburgh got hot, obviously.
Who doesn't want to see Wake Forest? A&M.
Yeah,
they don't want to see it.
They don't. Sorry, guys.
COVID, man. It's easy to say a 16-team playoff because you don't have to sell advertising for Bama versus Wake Forest. Really?
It's football. People are going to.
It's college football, dude. I mean, come on. Yeah, they're gonna. I mean, the ACC championship had eyes on it because it was prime time. Like,
it was a great game too. Really good game.
I mean, Wake Forest is a good team. You're going to get eyes on that easily. I say a 512 team playoff because it's unfair to Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College that they don't have a chance to win a natty. That's true. 512. Let's do it. Play it all in one day.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's football.
John,
everybody's going to enjoy it.
John, you're the commissioner of that playoff scenario. So, but Israel, we've been going an hour and 5 minutes. So, I think we're going to wrap it right there. We've had some great chats. John has been our assistant producer today, so we thank him for that. Cody was on early as our assistant producer. We like these live shows because the chat gives us a feed, gives us questions, gives us perspectives that we didn't see. What's great about echoing across 16 different platforms is we get fans from other places that come on board and offer their perspective and how they see Georgia from their eyes. So for that reason, I really, really like it. So keep on coming. So
love it.
And Mississippi Gulf Coast. Let's do it. Yeah.
Keep winning games. We got to get you in the argument.
Mississippi Valley Delta Devils. I say that because that's one of the coolest nicknames of all time. So Israel, I know what you're going to say. I'll say it for you this time around. Everybody, please be safe. COVID is a real thing. Do what you got to do to protect yourself. Be safe. Be careful. Take care of yourself. Obviously, if you're feeling down, don't go out. Make sure you get plenty of treatment and all that good stuff. So we want you alive and well to not only to watch our show, but to watch these bowl games as well, and to watch Georgia on Friday night as you're toasting for the new year, as you're eating your dips. As you're drinking your champagne, eating your dips, and doing whatever it is you do on New Year's Eve, which for me used to be really, really crazy, but it's going to be low key.
Got to go to work on Monday.
Exactly.
Sunday scaries are about to happen.
The The Sunday scaries on the Saturday are going to happen for me. That is faux show. But we don't go back till the 4th. Teachers report the 4th, so that's good. I get Monday, I think. I hope. Because I've got to at least enjoy one day of winter break. Because it's been work for me. I know it's been work for you too, probably. So there you go. There you have it. So we are the Bleav in Georgia Dawgs podcast. We are presented by betonline.ag for Israel Troop. I'm Corey Burton. We thank you for watching. We thank you for listening. Come back and see us. Hit that subscribe button. Let us know how we're doing and enjoy the ride. This new 2022 is going to be a phenomenal year. And as always, go Dawgs, beat Michigan.
Go Dawgs.